Really quick, I wanted to show you how this look ended up turning out because sometimes it looks a little scary in the process until you add everything, but I wanted to focus this look around this by Terry Ombre Blackstar Color Fix Cream Eyeshadow in number 17, which is called Bubble Glow. So this is the main focus for this eye look, and if you want to see how I got this, then just stay tuned. I just got out of the shower. I'm letting my hair air dry. I just clipped up the front part so it wouldn't be down in my face. I had a new product show up from By Terry from Octoly. Octoly is like a free website where if you're a YouTuber or a blogger, I believe, you can just log into there and kind of pick which items that you want to see if they'll send to you. If they agree to send it, then they ship it straight to your door. So this showed up just a couple days ago in a little mailer from By Terry. This is their Ombre Blackstar. I think this is a new release for 2016. There was two newly released colors. From the image on Octoly's website, I thought it would be a really dark color, but you can see on here, these are the two new ones that were just released. This is the one that I have here, this pink one, and then this is the other one. This is called Nude Milky Way. And you can see on the swatches, it's more of like a kind of shimmery, very pale gold champagne color. And this website that I'm looking at is called littlebeautywishes.blogspot.com. So that's where I found out the information on this thing. But this is kind of like the Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks. I'm going to be using this today. So I will show you when I get to the eye part how this performs. I already have moisturizer on, but I'm going to toss on a little bit of this sample that I got from Nordstrom the other day. I think this is the Chanel Hydra Flash. I'll put the exact name right here. But it's kind of like a primer moisturizer. I like this because it has little light reflecting particles in it, and it actually did a pretty good job holding my makeup on throughout the day the last time that I wore it. So I'm just kind of patting this around into the skin. So I'm going to go in with the Guerlain Lingerie de Peau. This one's in number 01. And it's a pretty thin coverage foundation. I'm just going to kind of dot it around and then go in with my Real Techniques. What brush is this? The Expert Face brush, just to kind of buff it around a little bit. Exciting thing happened the other day. I don't know if you guys follow Jen Loves Reviews, but she's doing like a road trip across the US, and she came over towards the Midwest, kind of west area, and she was in Colorado. They went up to Yellowstone and stuff, and then they came down through Utah, and I went and hung out for a little bit. We showed up late, but we showed up just in time as they were walking out, so that was pretty fun. I've never actually went to a meetup for any other YouTubers, so that was actually pretty cool. I didn't know anybody else there from Utah, but it was still fun nonetheless. I'm gonna go in now with two concealers. I have my Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. This is in number 3. This is, this matches my skin tone. It just provides a little bit extra coverage. And then the one for brightening is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This one right here, and this is in shade number 2, which is light 2, which is called Vanilla, with the Makeup Forever Full Cover. Put a little bit on my chin, nose, under the eye area, and right here. I have a little bit of redness. I got a little bit too much right there, but oh well. The foundation is really light, and I like it for that reason, but sometimes, especially in the summertime, I have a lot of freckles and a little bit of redness is showing through today, so I don't know. I'm gonna put a little extra concealer on instead of doing a second layer of my foundation. I really like using my finger with this concealer just because I feel like it blends it in the best, better than any sponge or anything that I've used, so I do have a brush from e.l.f. that does a pretty nice job for like up underneath the eye area. It's called the Flawless Concealer Brush. I think I've talked about this one on my channel before, but I'm just using my finger today. So with the NARS concealer, I just went ahead and put a little in between my eyes right here, between my eyes, under my eyes, down the center, and a little on my chin. So that was the NARS Radiant Creaming Concealer, and then again, I just go in with my finger and dab it around. So back to the meetup, Jen was talking about Periscope and Twitter and stuff, and I think she convinced me to sign up for Twitter. I don't think I'm gonna use it for anything other than just like YouTube related tweets. And then Periscope is like a whole other world. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more and see how I'm supposed to use it and everything. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that it's a live streaming app, I guess. Now I'm taking the MAC Sculpt and Shape Powder in Emphasize. Mine's in a little duo from the Rocky Horror Picture Show collection. This one here is Bone Beige, and this one's Emphasize, so I'm going to be using this Emphasize shade to go set underneath my eye area. Set the concealer under there. It takes a little bit longer using your finger and blending everything out that way, but I just like the way it looks, so just gonna kind of dab this up underneath my eye. And it just kind of brightens everything up because it is a very light brightening powder, and they do sell it individually, not just in like a duo or anything. And then I'm going to take the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Light Plus. I'm just going to do a very, very light dusting on the rest of my face. I got these Terramare brushes. Now, I've reviewed some of these Terramare organic vegan products in the past, and I thought they were great. They're just extremely pricey. The pack of these brushes that I got, I can't remember if there was like 7 or 8 of them, but they are on Hotlook quite frequently, and they're like $20 for a whole pack of them. They're all synthetic, and they've kept the shape really nice. The only issue is, like this one, the ferrule has come loose. I don't know if I got some water in there or if I was just kind of rough with it, but this one came loose. I'm going to have to glue this one together, but it still works fine. I actually really like these for, there's a blush brush that I had for a couple years now, and I got a duplicate of that in the pack of brushes, so really happy about that. I really like this big fluffy powder brush, and there's a couple eye brushes that I like too. So, I mean, you can see I just barely got any of this powder on my brush. I just want to go through and just kind of set it extremely lightly so stuff isn't moving around. This one is definitely a shade darker than I would normally wear in like the fall or winter time. This is definitely a shade for when I have some self-tanner or if I've been out in the sun and I got exposed to the sun. I think I definitely need the shade Light instead of Light Plus, but I'm going to use up all of Light Plus first, obviously. My bronzer next. I have the NARS Laguna. I think I'm going to pick up another one of these at the next VIB sale because while I'm not sure if this will all be finished by the November sale, it'll definitely be finished before 2017 sale, so I'm gonna plan on picking up another one of these. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put on a little lip balm. This is supposed to be a plumping lip balm. Not sure if it actually plumps. This is the Dior Creme de Rose Smoothing Plumping Lip Balm. I'm gonna toss a little bit of this on because I'm probably gonna wear a matte lipstick. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wear a matte on, so I'm gonna put this on and let it sit for a minute while I do the rest of my makeup and see how my lips feel at the end. And that'll kind of tell me if I'm gonna be wearing a matte lipstick or something that's a little glossy or shiny or maybe even just a lip gloss. Back to my bronzer. So I just use this little Sonia Kashuk brush. I got this in a set a couple years ago. It's old, but I like how small it is. I like how it goes into kind of like a tapered point. It's like a large version of MAC's 217, but for your face. Instead of something that you would use for your eyes, it's kind of the same shape as the MAC 217, just really big. So I just get the smallest amount on like the tip of this brush. As you can see, just barely on the tip, and then I'm going to go right through there. I just want it very light. I'm not doing like, I'm not carving out any areas on my face. I'm just putting a little color in, adding a little bit of shadow, a little bit of depth there. So just build it up slightly. A little down on my jaw here, because a little up at my hairline. And buff it around. Just right around the perimeter of my face. I'm using a blush today that's kind of like a nudie blush, so it's alright if my bronzer and my blush kind of mix together today. Just don't want any harsh lines, so I spend a lot of time like buffing this around because I don't want anything too stark. So right through there. So if you guys use Periscope, let me know how that works. I know nothing about it. All I know is that it's like an online live streaming app thing. I have the app downloaded, but it said to either put in my phone number or a Twitter, so I was thinking maybe I'll just get Twitter, hook it up with my YouTube channel, and then that way it would all be connected together. Okay, I almost forgot, but I'm gonna get the tiniest little bit on the brush, go right under my lip here. It's actually supposed to make your lips look bigger. I kind of pinch the brush so it's flat. Right like that. Put a little on my nose. I didn't do any on my nose. I'm gonna use, like I said, I'm gonna use one of these Terra Mer brushes for my blush. And I'll usually either use this Terra Mer one or my MAC 219. Is that what this is? Or MAC 129, I got my numbers mixed up. 129 from MAC or this Terra Mer one. I feel like this Terra Mer one with certain blushes, it just pops them right at the top of my cheeks right here, and I feel like it's the perfect placement. So I'm going in with Tarte's Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in Exposed, and I have, I don't know, I feel like this pulls quite rosy on my cheeks instead of just nude. I feel like it looks completely different on other people, but we'll go ahead and add this. So I like to just slightly smile and then put it right at the back of my apple on my cheek and then just bring it back towards my hairline. That's how I like to do blush lately. I feel like just the angle of this brush is perfect for doing that. So, and then onto this side. It's right on the side here, and then just bring it back. I'm gonna go in with this new oh, I feel like I have a brush hair here. This new highlighter that my husband got me for our anniversary. This is from that new collection they just released. I can't remember the name of it. It's called their Gleam Tones powder in the shade Dunes at Dusk. The only thing that kind of bums me out is there's no mirror on this packaging, but that is the beautiful highlight there. So here, I'm just grabbing another one of these Real Technique setting brushes. These really small, kind of fluffy little guys here. It's the same kind of brush that I used to set underneath my eye. I just have two of them. So I'm gonna kind of like dab around in all of the colors. Go back to that white one a couple times. Tap it off and then just kind of apply it up here. You know, because it has that pink and that purpley taupe color, I feel like it kind of pulls more of like a pinky tone on the skin. But I'm just gonna dab right along there, and then I just kind of like, I'm gonna take a little bit of the highlight and just highlight the inner corner of my eye. Brows are like my least favorite thing to do because mine needs so much work. So I'm just kind of combing through them right now. And then just to make things a little bit easier, I'm just gonna do the color tattoo in Toughest Taupe with a little angled brush. Just, it's the easiest. And that's all I have left in there. I've done a pretty good job at clearing out that color tattoo, I think. I'm just getting a little bit onto this angled brush. You can see there, that's what it looks like on the brush. And we're gonna go in and see how even I can get them. I think this is actually just a painting brush, so I found it, thought the shape was nice, and decided to use it for my brows because it's a little bit stiffer than some of the other ones that I've had previously, so definitely does the trick. I'm just trying to bring this straight up and then do my little archy thing, bring it straight back down, and sometimes, I don't know how they get so crazy, but sometimes they end up insane. So far so good. This one looks pretty decent, but troubling part is matching them up, so I don't care if they're absolutely perfect. They might not even be twins, but they'll be distant cousins, I think. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Anastasia tinted brow gel in Granite just to deepen them up so they're not like gray, just to hold the brows in place too. So I'm gonna stop real quick and spray my face with Fix Plus just so everything kind of goes together. Let's move on to the eyes. I have tried this Ombre Blackstar out once, and I felt like it almost creased, and I was using it all on its own. So today I'm going to use the Painterly Paint Pot from MAC. I'm going to put that down first, just a really thin layer of this. It's kind of just a smidgen darker, smidgen more pink than my skin tone. Just putting this on the lid area, kind of bringing it up just a little. Not quite to my brow, but pretty close. I'm gonna bring a little bit down underneath the eye, like underneath the bottom lash line, just a little bit. And then whatever's left over on my finger, just pull that around to the front in case I have like a shadow towards the front. I haven't quite decided what I'm doing with my eye look today, so should be interesting to see what I decide to do. Here is a little swatch of that Ombre Blackstar in the shade number 17. It was called Bubble Glow. You can see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that sheen. It has the slightest hint of a sheen to it and these little kind of micro glitters in it. Let me see if I can build the swatch up a little bit so you can see those. Like that. Can you see those sparkles at all? That is a swatch of it there. So it definitely reminds me of the Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks. I mean, it rolls up and scrolls back down just like those, but I don't know, there's something a little bit different about the formula. I mean, it stays on fine when I wore it the last time, but I'm just not sure I enjoy the color. I feel like this pink, if you don't put something over the top of it, it definitely is one of those pinks that make you look a little sickly. So I'm going to put this down more as a base today and see if I like that a little bit better. I think this will probably smear out any of those little shimmer pieces in it, but honestly, you couldn't really see them to begin with. If you're just wearing this on its own, I don't know. Maybe if you have a darker skin tone, it won't look so crazy on you, but I really feel like it looks like that pink that just makes you look sickly. And then I thought that it would be a good idea to pull out my Laura Mercier palette. This is the iArt Artist palette. And I thought like the purpley mauvey tones would look really good with this pink. So that is what the palette looks like there. And I'm going to go in with a lighter color, the Sparkling Dew, this very first one right here, and do that kind of at the inner corner of my eyes. I think I'm going to lighten everything up at the inner corners and then leave this on the lid area and then deepen it up with something else. So I think that's the plan of attack for today. I don't know, like already I can tell that some of the sparkles are kind of gathering in the crease area. I mean, it's a nice base. It held the color on really well, but I feel like just those glittery, sparkly pieces definitely kind of crease up in the folds of your eyelids. So I'm not sure if I would buy one of these for the, you know, full price. Maybe if it was a completely different color. I definitely wouldn't purchase this one in the full size once I've used it up. So I'm bringing this up underneath the brow to kind of tone down that pink that got up there a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of Vanilla Nuts, these two top light shades, kind of mix them together to go up underneath the brow. Just so it's not pink up under there. Then I'm taking the MAC 286 brush. It's kind of like a dual fiber synthetic brush, and I'm going to take the shade Fresco, which is this one right here. It's a matte, and I'm going to pop that into the crease and kind of blow it out a little bit. When I use this palette, I like to look up and kind of put my eyes like this, and that way I feel like I get less onto my lower lid. I'm trying to leave as much of this base on there as I possibly can and just work at the crease and higher. So I don't know if it's gonna work with this base or not today, but that's what I'm trying. Staying up high above my crease area a little bit with this color. And then I have a 217 from MAC. I'm going to go into this other matte shade right here. This is called Plum Smoke. And I'm going to take that right into the crease area and not blow it out as much as I did with that first Fresco shade. Just going right into that crease area. Blending out as I go. I think that looks a little bit better. I think the darker it gets in that outer corner, the better it's going to look. Then I'm going to take just the smallest amount of this really deep purple here. This is called Violet Ink, and just toss that right into that outer corner just to see how that does. Ooh, very intense, like the smallest amount of that. Just gonna try and keep that concentrated out in that outer corner. I don't know, I really can't tell what something's gonna look like until I have liner and mascara and everything's on. So final time taking this brush, this big fluffy one from Sonia Kashuk, just blending out any edges. Blending through that crease again. I think I'm going to bring a little bit of this down underneath my eye too. I think that'll bring it together as well. Another Sonia Kashuk brush. It's just a really flat kind of shader brush. I'm going to go back into that first shade Fresco right here and put that up underneath the bottom lash line, maybe from like the halfway mark and out. This shade right here called Cur Royal. Right there, it has a little bit of shimmer in it. It's not nearly as dark as that deepest shade. Going into Cur Royal and just putting that on the outer portion of my eye. Just kind of stamping it on there. I'm going to take my Rimmel Scandalized Waterproof Kohl Liner in Nude, pop this into the waterline per usual, and I'm going to use the Physicians Formula eye booster. It's their 2-in-1 lash boosting eyeliner in serum. This one's in ultra black. It's a really nice thin point. I'm going to try using this one today and see how that works. So I just take it right on up against the lash line. I feel like this one feathers a little bit more than the Kat Von D one, but beggars can't be choosers, so I feel like there's always like some little flip, like little bump or wave in my liner, and I can't get it even. I don't know if it's just been so long since I've used liquid liner like this or what, but maybe the texture of my eyelids are changing. I don't know, but I swear it feels like something is always off every single time that I do my eyeliner. I feel like sometimes when I curl my lashes, sometimes the curler will bump into my lash line, so I'll take my matte black liner. This is the Jordana Made to Last liquid eyeliner pencil in black point, and I'll just run it over my line when I'm done curling my lashes, and it makes the line matte, and it just kind of, it does something to the liner and makes it kind of smooths it out, makes it look a little bit more intense, I think. And then I'm using the Laura Mercier Full Blown Volume Lash Building Mascara. Love this mascara. I opened up my little mini sample that I had. So going in with this guy, put a coat down, let it dry down, and put a second one on. I'm going to put a little on the bottom lash line. Normally I would use my Clinique bottom lash, but that one is, I'm not sure what empties it's in. I think it might be in my bag of empties. I don't like this as much on the bottom lashes, but I really love it on the upper lashes. You can really, I love the name of it because you can really sit there and build up how much volume you want, and it definitely lengthens as well. For the most part, that's what the eye look is going to end up looking like. I have a couple lip options and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. So I have this one from Estee Lauder. This is the Pure Color Envy lipstick in number 120, which is desirable. I really love this one. You know what? Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. It's just a really pretty kind of nudie pink color. That's it there, and I wear this one quite frequently, so I'm gonna toss this on really quick. Anyway, that is what the eye look turned out like. Kind of see, maybe you can catch the sparkle a little bit, but yeah, overall I'm pretty satisfied with it. When you work with this product and you kind of blend it around and use it as a base, I think it's much better than using this one on its own. I think the other shade that was just barely released, the new releases for 2016, I think that nude one would have been perfect to use alone or under something, but I think this one, it's going to be benefited the most wearing it either as a base or just as like an accent color. Like I said, I noticed that those little shimmery pieces in it would collect in the crease area of my eyeshadow. So anyway, that is the look for today and my little mini review on this by Terry Ombre Blackstar Color Fix Cream Eyeshadow. I still don't have the name right on these. In number 17 Bubble Glow, but you know, I mean, the staying power is pretty nice. You're gonna have to use a makeup remover on this to get it off. It won't come off with just water. Soap might be able to scrub it off a little bit, but it's pretty long wearing overall. What I wore all on its own, I had it on for about 8 hours and it held up pretty well except for the sparkly pieces like I mentioned. But anyway, I will definitely let you guys know if my thoughts or opinions change on this at all, but that is it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. So just quick update, almost 9 hours later, the eyeshadow is still intact, the little sparkles are still hanging out up there, and everything looks pretty perfect. So I'm actually quite impressed with the longevity of this used as a base. So I just wanted to give a quick update really quick. So again, there is the eye look. My face makeup is breaking down a little bit, but not my actual eyeshadow. So quite impressed there.